All right, welcome back to another Forgotten Friday here on Rennavision. The Forgotten series is a group of videos that I do where I'm either covering Forgotten firsts, Forgotten variants, or Forgotten later printings, and I even kind of include run for covers in this as well. But just different stuff, books that a lot of people aren't talking about these days, or at least I'm not hearing a lot of people talk about them. So I figured, you know what, let's bring it up. Awareness is helpful, I think, and these are books that maybe not everybody's aware of. So I'm looking into them a little bit and figured I'd share it with you guys as well as I'm diving down this rabbit hole myself. This Friday, I am now doing another Forgotten variants because I'm just kind of in that mindset right now. Don't have some first for you to share. I don't have later printing, so I figure, you know what? We're going to do another Forgotten variants as we go through this thing. So hopefully you're enjoying this series as well as all the other stuff on the channel. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. Check out the merch links down below if you're interested in getting any t-shirts or any swag and things like that. And yeah, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro and I'll be back with this week's Forgotten variants. Now, just like last week, I'm also going to be doing basically 2 runs of variants on 2 different titles. I'm going to pick out a longer run and then a shorter run to kind of cap us off. Now, our first run is going to be the longer run this week, and for that, I'm looking at the Punisher series from, I think this was, what, the 2018 series? 2017 series? God knows I can't tell you what volume. Punisher has been restarted more than many of the other Marvel titles. Just so many stops and starts and reboots and changes, from giving us Frankencastle to, you know, War Machine, Frank Castle to all different types of Punishers throughout the years. So a lot of stops and restarts. But today we're going to start with this variant for number 1, which is the 1 in 25 edition. Well, I should say one of the 1 in 25 editions, because there is another 1 in 25 that came with this as well, which is this Black Panther 50th anniversary cover. Now, we're not going to really dig into that one, but I want to show you the other covers because this was a suggestion and I kind of liked it. This actual book also had a 1 in 50 that I did talk about when we did that Captain America run not that long ago on Run for Covers. So keep that in mind. This one's already been covered, this issue 1 of the Punisher that had this cap cover. That's the 1 in 50. And if you want to know what cover A looks like, this is the cover A. This is the title, the book we're talking about, just so you know what we're doing, because there's so many covers, even for this book alone. Because look, we've already shown 4, and there's more. There's more. We got the action figure cover from John Tyler Christopher. We also have a Scotty Young, obviously. Is that enough? No, it's not enough, because we also have a Horseman of the Apocalypse version of the Punisher that we need to share. And is that it? No, it's not it. And we're also not getting into store variants, but we do have one more. We have the hip hop variant, which is right here as well. So many covers, so many covers. But as I said, the one we're actually going to be focusing in on, at least for our purposes here today, is on May 2016. I'm sorry, not 2018. The 2016 run. Alex Maleev, this 1 in 25, estimated about 4,400 copies. At 1 in 25, that's how many copies we're talking about. So you can guess, you can do the reverse math to figure out how many copies of this book were printed. It was a lot, because there were a lot of covers. Now, what's available if you're interested in this particular book right now? Well, it's expensive, this 1 in 25. 100 to 150 are really the asks right now for this one. So definitely not cheap. I dig it. I kind of like this cover. I like him lounging in the chair there amongst the pile of bodies in front of him. Kind of like playing catch, I guess, with the empty shells. I don't know. Cool cover. I dig it, but 100 and 150 that's a pretty steep ask. And if we want to see what's actually sold, well, it sells for that. You can see right there, October 17th. Buy it now, $105. So it is a book that will get you that price. So that was issue 1 of the run. I'm going to go through all the incentive variants that were in this volume, I guess, of the Punisher, and then maybe just give you one more. But issue 2 next also had a 1 in 25. But if you want to know the cover A, this is the cover A for this one, just so you can kind of put 2 and 2 together in case you're wondering what we're talking about here. But this 1 in 25 is a Vanessa Del Rey cover, June of 2016, about 1,900 copies for this one. And I kind of like this. This is a whole, I believe it's a callback to Miller's Crossing. Personally, if it's not, then it's just a real big coincidence. But this looks just like the Miller's Crossing, scene to me. Now, that being said, what's out there for this one? This one is not too bad. You can see, as opposed to the other one, which was 100, 150, half as many copies of this one, $6 to $10, basically, or $7 to $10. So definitely not apples to apples here for this one. And if you want to see what's actually sold, well, it does sell for that cheap because look, 4 bids, $2.25 it ended. 4 bids to get to $2.25. Definitely a cheap one, and I'd be buying at that price personally. I probably would buy it $7. I might go get one because, like I said, I kind of dig Miller's Crossing, and I like this kind of a wink and a nod. And this was issue 2, which is going to take us to issue 3, our next book, and this is a pretty cool one. If you want to see the regular cover, it's right here. This is the regular cover. It's kind of turned on its side. You can see it's a Frank underneath the car with the looking at the scope, but the 1 in 25 is a Becky Cloonan cover. Pretty close to issue 2. Just under 1,900 copies on this one. This is July of 2016. As we're moving along through the months for this Punisher run, you want to check the market, what's out there for this one if you want to go shopping. This one is about $9 to $25, so a little bit pricier. With the wolves there, I guess, in the woods, and castle coming out of them. Pretty cool cover. And what does it sell for? Well, none sold the last 3 months, so you can pretty much set the market whether you want to pay $9 or $25 on it. So you can give us that sense of what the market is on this book if you decide to go and buy one. Now, that's going to take us into our next incentive. Now, there was no incentive for issue 4 or issue 5. The next incentive variant wasn't for issue 6, and it's a photo. It's a photo cover. A little bit of one of the cosplay covers that I know Marvel did across a bunch of titles way back in those days. If you want to see the regular cover as well, here is the regular cover to issue 6. Flame showing the skull. Pretty cool. But the photo cover for October 2016, this was only a 1 in 15 incentive, so they're a little bit more, 2,300 copies thereabouts for this one, if you're so inclined, for this cosplay photo. And if you want to go shopping for one, under $5 or $10 with 2 other cosplay books, it looks like, out there. So I know not a lot of people are big fans of these cosplay covers, but I mean, they're different. It's something interesting to collect. And look, you can get 3 of them right there for $10. That's less than cover. It's less than cover on average. So definitely not a pricey one here. And if you want to see what actually sold on it, there's none sold. So I don't know, not a lot of demand, I guess. Which is going to take us to issue 7, which is actually the book that got me wanting to do the Punisher run in this series to begin with. And that's this cover here. But before we get there, this is 1 in 15. The 1 in 25 on this is this cover. And then the regular cover, if you're curious, is right here. Pretty cool in the graveyard. Castle digging himself out. And then, I know I mentioned it before, those story thus fars can be kind of tough. Issue 7 does have a story thus far cover here with a pretty cool Cachetto. But keep an eye out for that one as well. But the one, like I said, I want to cover, December 2016, the Whilce Portatio 1 in 15, about 2,200 copies thereabouts. I dig the red. I like the huge gun and the bandolier bullets. It's just pretty cool. Pretty cool, if you ask me. So I like this one. And if you want to go shopping for one, well, it's going to run you $10 to $20. Not awful for a 1 in 15. That's pretty close to ratio. A little under, a little over. See what's sold? Well, for this one, none. Again, not a lot of people looking at this Punisher run, which is, again, why I'm covering it here in Forgotten Variants. Not a lot of copies moving, so I don't know. Now's the time. Let's just start looking at it. And then that is it for that kind of bit of the run. I think the run actually went around to issue 12 before renumbering started. And it kind of just jumped into a little bit of that renumbering just for kind of fun. This also jumped ahead to when Frank became War Machine. So in the renumbered legacy numbering, Punisher number 218, this is the 1 in 25. If you want to see the other covers on this issue, here was the cover A. I think it's Clayton Crane who did this one. Pretty cool. Again, Punisher in the War Machine armor. I know there's been a lot of interest in this book of the last couple of months, so it's kind of heated up a bit. So this one may not be considered forgotten, but hey, it is what it is. There's also the lenticular covers for this. So you can see you got the Punisher War Machine and the War Machine. So this is kind of cool. You get that little, like I said, the lenticular action there showing the change. Also, this cover had the John Berthnall cover, which is another one that is gotten a little bit tough to find as well. So from the Netflix series, edition of Punisher, also pretty cool cover. And then there's a 1 in 10 that was those headshots. For whatever reason, Marvel decided to do all these headshot covers. So we got the Punisher one here, was on this issue, this 218. So you can see a lot of different covers again on this book. So this one was November 2017. Greg Smallwood, 1 in 25. And it was a heavily printed book because look, even that 1 in 25's got 2,500 copies. Thereabouts, estimate. So plenty of copies, but it has gotten a little bit pricey over like I said, the last couple of months. And if you want to see it, what's available, $30, not too bad, up to 150 with 28 watchers. So a lot of people watching it. Maybe there are other sellers, who have their own copies. They want to see if that $150 sell. I don't know, but there's a lot of watchers on that $150 one, and then there's that $30 one out there. So I don't know. Make your call if you're interested in that book. And if you want to see what this is actually sold for, well, of late, $25 to $45, both in October. Those are two kind of sales that give you kind of an example of what it's moving for. Both raw, not graded, so raw copies. So that's it for the little bit of Punisher that I wanted to cover for this Forgotten Friday, this Forgotten Variants on Friday. And just kind of wrap us up today, I got another title just to do a short little run. We're going to be looking at the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, Volume 1. This was only an 8-issue series. There were a lot of later printings as well to keep an eye out for. So we can probably do that as part of the later printing series, but not going to get too deep into that. We're just pretty much going to focus in on the incentive variants as what I do here on Forgotten Variants. But issue 1 had this pretty cool. I think this was the 1 in 25 for it. But if you want to see the cover A, just so we know what we're talking about, this is cover A again. I think this is the 2015 series. This was volume 1 of the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl before they had the longer run. I think they ran 50 issues in volume 2, but this was the shorter lived first volume of the series. So there's cover A for number 1. Pretty cool. Scotty Young here. I kind of like this for also for issue 1. There was also a 1 in 20 incentive variant. That's this one here. I think is a Saya cover. Also doesn't do half bad. And then we have the 1 in 25, which is the Art Adams. January 2015, 1 in 25. If you want to see round about what we have, we're talking about 1,600, 1,700 copies on this one. So pretty cool cover. I like it. And it's definitely not easy to find. Even though there's 1 in 20s, the 1 in 25 is pretty tough. Now, if you want to see what's out there, you can see $120 to $225 are the prices on this raw for this 1 in 25. So it is not cheap, this one. Like I said, it's not easy to find either. And if you want to see what this sells for, to see, those prices crazy? Well, auction one did go for $50, which might have been a deal just there on October 24th. And then there was a best offer on $150 ask in September, and they actually got $120 out of that. So still pretty expensive. Over $100 for this thing, for this 1 in 25. And then that one 16 bids for $51. Man, I wish I would have been in on that, because I think for $50 I'd be in too. I don't know if I would go much more than that personally, but $50 I think is a decent price for this. Because like I said, it's a tough book. Only a couple of more incentive variants on this run. Like I said, it's only 8 issues, this first volume. So our next one is for issue 2, which has an incentive variant. But if you want to see the regular cover, I think this is a first appearance in this book as well. So even this regular cover does all right for itself. But the issue 2, 1 in 25, Joe Quinones, 1 in 25, February 2015. We're talking about maybe just under 1,000 copies. So definitely not a lot on this thing. Print run definitely drops from issue 1 to issue 2. And if you want to see what's available out there, well, there's none. So there's no copies of issue 2 out there to buy. And if you want to see what actually sold, none sold either. So I don't know if we want to call it a ghost, but it's just not out there. I mean, it's a decent cover. It's not great. I mean, squirrels going on the power lines. I kind of like it, but it is what it is. But it's just not out there to be found if you want to go looking. So we're going to take it to our, I think our last one for this series, which is issue 4 I'm sorry, not issue 4, issue 3. So issue 3 also had an incentive cover here that you can see, but the regular cover you can see here with the gorillas, pretty fun little title. There's also a Women of Marvel cover here, so there's this one as well. And then we'll go back to the 1 in 25 Jill Thompson from March of 2015. So this is the incentive for this book, and like I said, 1 in 25. So we are talking about roughly 1,000 copies, so a little bit more than issue 2, which is kind of surprising, but there we are, a little over 1,000 copies, but pretty close. If you want to see what's out there on the market, if you want to go shopping for one, there are a couple, only 12 to 20 bucks thereabouts for this one, so it's not too expensive. It's under ratio, which is surprising for this, but again, the cover, it's all right. It's not great. She's in a tree, hummingbird, bird feeder, bird houses. I mean, okay, I get it. I get the shtick they're going with. It's not bad though. And like I said, it can't be easy. There's only 1,000 copies. But if you want to see what this thing sells for, well, best offer on $14 and then a $15 buy it. Buy it now. But that best offer was for $9. So 10 to 15 bucks is kind of what we're talking about here for what this actually sold for. And that was it on that first run, that first volume of Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. Like I said, there's a whole second volume that ran 50 issues that has plenty more incentives in it. We can cover that on another video, on another time. But for now, Punisher and Squirrel Girl seem just different enough to put them together for this week's Forgotten variants. So hopefully you enjoyed that. So let me know what you think in the comments, what other runs of variants you might want to see, which other titles, and that we might want to cover on this series. I might switch it up, go back to Forgotten first. Maybe we'll do a Forgotten later printings because I haven't done one of those in a while. I don't know. We'll see what we do on next Forgotten Friday. But let me know again what you think in the comments. Make your suggestions. I do take suggestions. I do save everything you guys suggest to me. It's on a list. I will get to them one of these days. I do appreciate the feedback. Let me know in the comments what you think. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Keep telling your friends so I can keep growing the channel. Check out the merch. And I will see you guys soon with some more content.